We're going to look at the whiskey distillery.
Yes.
Yeah.
It smells delicious already.
Smell that whiskey.
Cool. It looks very awesome in the camera. Oh. Very bright on the camera.
The tall, skinny one's what's called a column still.
Mm-hmm.
And you do your first run through the column still, and it makes a very efficient, fine spirit. And then you run it through the pot still for the second time, and that's what gives it a lot of flavor. But most of your flavor comes from the wood, comes from the barrels. Sorry, I jumped in on you.
No,
I'm
you're
giving
good.
you.
We're actually shut down this week, but
Yeah.
you want to come up here. The tanks will be empty, so.
Are they empty? You don't have anything in them?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we'll start the process over here. So we have all our grain handling down here in the lower level. So we'll pull all the corn over, runs through the mill, 3-roller mill, crush it up, turn it basically into flour. And then that conveys up and over into the cooker. So we'll have about 4,000 gallons at a time in here doing the cook, boiling it, breaking down the starches so we can extract the sugars.
Do you guys actually give tours while you're like up and running?
Not here. This is more of our bulk production facility, and then we have a smaller experimental facility down on Market Street.
That's so cool.
$2,700.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of whiskey.
And that's, like I said, this is a smaller one.
Yeah.
That's
You
smaller
should see
one?
the big here, and then what do you do?
Really?
Yeah, so we'll do some combination of grain, always 51% corn to be a bourbon. We focus a lot on malts, so all of our recipes have 25% or more malt. So we'll bring it to boil, break down the big sugar chains that the yeast can consume to make alcohol. And then, transfer it to one of our 4 fermenters. And then we actually ferment for 7 days.
And to make whiskey, you gotta make beer first. Whiskey starts with beer.
You gotta make beer and then you can make whiskey.
Yeah, because you distill down the beer, and you get the alcohol out of that. That's, yeah.
So we're going to make basically a high gravity corn beer. It'd be really nasty beer, but you could technically it's beer if you want to
Well, and they were really smart. Their master distiller worked for Sam Adams. He was a brewer for Sam Adams for a long time. So I always say this, great whiskey starts with great beer. So if you have a bad brewer's beer, you're going to have a bad whiskey. So making a great beer first is the key to making great whiskey.
But we have 4 fermenters, and then the very end tank is the beer well, which is basically a feed tank. That's the one on the right-hand side.
Beer well.
Yeah, and you got to make your beer first. So it's just a holding tank, and that feeds the still all day. So it's just like transfer right up to the line. So we cook, ferment for 7 days, and then we're going to distill it. So after about 7 days, it's about 90%. So the fermentation's kind of done, and then we're going to so once it's fermented,
Here.
Oh, yeah, so once it's fermented for 7 days, it's going to transfer over from that beer well to the still. So it's going to come through the stainless line right here, and actually goes all the way to the top and gets preheated, that top T section, and then gets dosed in about a third of the way down into the still. And so what happens in the still is basically you're injecting steam through the bottom. That steam's rising up, and you're injecting your beer, your distiller's beer in the top, and that's trickling down. So it has that 9 to 10% alcohol. The steam evaporates that alcohol quicker than water at 173 degrees. So at 173 degrees, that alcohol vaporizes. That 9 to 10% turns into pure whiskey, evaporates out the top, and condenses over to our low wine tank. So that's our first kind of stripping run, so to speak, off the column still. So we'll come off about 120, 125 proof off the low wine, and then we actually finish it in our doubler. So it's kind of like a pot still. We'll finish it in the doubler and take it from about 125 proof. We'll re-distill it again because it's been condensed to liquid form. And so we'll evaporate that alcohol again, and we'll capture it about 135 proof through our high wine. So that's our finished product. So everything coming off this, Basically, we'll transfer through the tube and over here, and then we will proof and gauge it over here and barrel it. So it'll come out so really clear, completely pure product. I don't have any samples. So everything that reaches to the bottom of the still, all the alcohol's been stripped out of it, so it's actually really good feed for cows, pigs, etc. So it actually goes out to these big tanks just outside, and gets hauled off to the farm every day. Cool, it's a pretty sustainable process.
So it's not this way?
Barrels, grain.
That's awesome.
I was at Four Roses, and we got a tour from basically the number 3 Al Young, who's like the big historian for them, and he's this old, just old guy. Most people don't get to do this, but I got the keys, and he opened up their tank to their high wines, and we poured a glass of the high wines off, and we all got to try it. And that stuff will burn your nose hairs off.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's 70% alcohol.
Oh my gosh. Ooh.
So once we've made our whiskey, we'll have barrels here on this pallet, and this is where we gauge and proof. And so we'll fill the barrels. Once we fill the barrels, we take them up into the barrel house up here.
Are they new barrels or the barrels that you got rolled in there?
New. So in order to be a straight bourbon, you can't reuse the barrel, so it's always got to be a brand new.
What kind of wood is used in the barrel?
White oak.
It can actually be any form of wine. Doesn't have to be American.
Has to be American.
Does it? They changed that law? For a long time, it was just white oak. If you read the
Oh, man.
if you read the TTB,
It's got, you can't use.
then they changed it. Yeah.
And the growth patterns are different, so
Well, it can
the
be like
rings-
Canadian white oak or
Yeah.
something. It can be from Canada.
Maybe it can.
Yeah. You're right. It can be French oak or anything like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You gotta get going. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
So we just passed our 900th,
Look at that.
910th barrel.
Nice.
So these are all full.
Yeah.
Everything back there is all the stuff we've made since we opened in March, and then under the tarp are unused barrels that are going to be filled over the next couple of months.
So how much would it be for a full barrel?
So one full barrel retail, so basically it costs. Probably can't put this on YouTube, so you don't have to edit.
Okay.
That barrel, each barrel is worth one on the left. So we have kind of a good, better, best model. You're probably looking at once you package all of that.
In Atlanta, I used to have to sell private barrels.
Yeah, the one on
Man.
the right is some super premium, some really cool stuff that we're working on. Really neat recipes with them all. Those will probably be barrel.
Jeez.
Retail.
Now, is that so like you could actually buy a barrel?
Yeah, so we'll have a single barrel program that we'll do out of our native series, which is going to be it's real cool. We have a couple different veins within it, but it's where we're finishing a lot of stuff and different beer barrels and some really neat programs.
I don't know if you as a person can do it,
Yeah.
but you can go through a liquor store to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it has to happen. Because
Gotcha.
of licensing.
Yeah. That makes sense.
The
Cool.
Slayer rooms are really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Thank you again.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, because of licensing purposes.
Yeah, I figured.
Just go buy it.
Yeah.
You have to have a liquor license. So what'll happen
Makes sense.
is you get a lot of these whiskey clubs, they get together and they buy from a liquor store. They pick it through the liquor store and buy it that way. So then feel free to go back and check it out.
Yeah. This is so cool.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that we'd be doing this weekend.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So what was he saying? The good?
So they're trying all these different styles,
Yeah.
right, of working on the grains. Every batch of bourbon is different, right?
Yeah.
They all have their things. That's why almost every whiskey you ever see is blended.
Mhm.
Okay? Unless you see single barrel.
Single barrel, yeah.
So basically, they have their good, which is their normal run whiskey, which is very good.
Yeah.
Okay? The better is one they're really excited about. And
So this is like good. This is better.
And then this over here is best.
Okay.
This is they're doing what's called malting their grains, which is what they do in Scotland. Where what you do is you spread the grains out and you wet them, and you hit them with heat, and it tricks them into germinating, and it just turns all those sugars into starches and everything like that, and then you cold smoke it, and it dries it out and kills the germination process, and it just has a really different flavor profile to it. It has like a cereal grain with most flavor to it.
Why are these leaking and these aren't?
Time.
Time.
I mean, some of them are leaking right here. You can see it.
Okay.
Yeah. So oak. The reason whiskey uses oak, okay, is it's porous, okay, because that's what you want. So what you don't see is all these barrels on the inside. They're charred, okay. Yeah. And by charring it, you create what's called a red layer. And you can really actually see it in a barrel stave. If you get a barrel stave that's after it's been charred, it's about that thick, and it looks a lot like your shirt, and that's all the caramelized sugars, okay, and that's the flavor you want. So as whiskey, it goes in and out of the oak, okay, but it doesn't go all the way out. So different types of wood would leak, you know, if they use different things. And so as it goes in and out, that's where the color comes from, and that's where the flavor comes from. That's where you get your flavors of like vanilla, toffee, caramel, and certain different types of oak. You heard me and him talking about French oak. French oak has a really spicy flavor. By spicy, I mean like baking spices, cinnamon, clove, those kind of things. So they've just been sitting for a little bit.
Sitting for longer than these.
Yeah, excuse me one second.
This is awesome.
Okay. I'm gonna grab Leslie. Yeah,
Oh, this is really cool. I've always wanted to do a distillery or brewery tour, but this is like a private tour. Oh, what is all this, y'all?
I don't know, but I didn't want to possibly take.
Fair enough.
Are these just like empty bottles?
I like the top of their.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Do you think I really need to edit out the price of the barrel? Really?
Because they're different all over the country because of tax purposes and licensing fees and everything. And different states have different markups in liquor stores and things like that.
Gotcha.
So what they do is once a barrel's done and they're about to bottle a batch, they'll take older barrels and younger barrels, and they put a lot of younger barrels in with a little bit of older barrels, and they blend it for a consistent purpose, and they let it develop. So if you look here, this is full. This is all whiskey.
Oh wow.
Right here. That's their measuring stick. Okay.
Dang.
And so Solera is a technique to make a consistent product. You see it a lot. It's really used in rum, and it's really used in rum. It's really used in Scotch wine. But rum, the problem with rum, if you see an age on that rum bottle, that's the oldest whiskey or the oldest liquor in there. If you look on an age on anything else, on whiskey, tequila, anything that's aged, that number that's on there is the youngest. That's it.
Wow.
And that's the law. So when you see 12-year-old Scotch, the youngest whiskey that's in there is 12 years old. They might have 18 and 20-year-old Scotch in there. In fact, they have 18 and 20-year-old Scotch. When you see 18-year-old rum, there's a little bit of 18-year-old rum in there and a lot of 1 and 2-year-old rum. It's obviously not full. They just passed their 900th barrel.
Wow.
How long have they been open?
They've been selling whiskey now for about, I'd say 3-4 years. So they sourced their whiskey at first. They bought barrels of it from another distiller, a contract distiller called MGP, which is in Indiana.
All right.
And those are the same guys that make Dickel Rye, Bullet Rye. I mean, they make 98% of the rye whiskey on the market, plus a bunch of other things. And so these guys have initially sourced their whiskey so they can start their company up. And now that they're successful, they make their own.
If I had a glass, I could walk up to that thing and take
You could, yeah.
That's
You could.
awesome.
I've done it.
That's so cool. Well, that was our quick little private tour of the Chattanooga Whiskey Company, and that was awesome. I was not expecting that this weekend. That's why we decided to make it its own video, just because it deserved it, I think. But anyway, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, you need to. We're doing awesome things in 2018.
Well, we did awesome stuff in 2017.
Yeah.
You just haven't seen it.
But yeah, we got lots of stuff planned, so make sure you subscribe, check us out, and I guess we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.